Okay, this topic deserves its own separate discussion. Why? Because it's actually fairly easy to learn exactly how a guy feels about you just by analyzing his text messages. If he does these 9 things in his text messages, he likes you. Just like the 10 signs I just explained above, there are several clear signs you can look for in a guy's text messages to find out if he likes you. This is one of the best ways to figure out his feelings, so if he's texting you regularly, here are 9 indicators to watch out for. Texting sign number 1, he uses one particular phrase that proves he likes you in his texts. Here's one phrase to look for that is usually a guaranteed sign that he's into you. I wish you were here. This might not seem like much, but it's a pretty strong indicator that he has feelings for you. Whatever he's doing when he sent that message, he's clearly wishing he was hanging out with you instead. That means he's also missing you, and I don't think I have to explain why that's good news if you want to make him your boyfriend. Texting sign number 2, he tries to impress you. This one can be subtle, if he's clever, but take a closer look at the topics he's bringing up in his messages. Does he seem to be trying to give you a favorable view of him? Does he mention all the fun stuff he's doing, the accomplishments and successes in his day-to-day? For example, spent the day fixing my motorcycle. Ready for the first ride of the year, smiley face. Any hint of bragging like this in his texts suggests that he wants you to be impressed by him, which means he probably wants you or is falling for you to some degree. Yay! Texting sign number 3, he trusts you with secrets and personal details. Is he willing to admit things and be vulnerable? If a guy opens up to you, this is a good sign. For example, a text like this might actually, despite how it seems at first, be an indication he trusts you and is willing to get personal. I've actually been feeling pretty down lately. Most men won't share this type of thing with just anybody. If he tells you his secrets, his hopes and dreams, and other heavy topics, there's a good chance he sees you as more than just a friend. Texting sign number 4, he uses emojis all over the place. Emoji use doesn't necessarily mean anything, so don't get too excited just because you see a bunch of eggplant emoticons in his latest text message. But that said, many guys, especially manly men, will only use lots of emojis with girls they really like or feel comfortable around. So if he's started to use them more frequently in his texts, it could be a good sign. Texting sign number 5, he says nice, complimentary things. Does he compliment you in his messages? Specifically, does he compliment you on superficial things, or does he go past that into those deeper areas of your looks and personality that most guys don't notice? If he's showering you with compliments and praise, then obviously this means he's got his eye on you, and he's probably spent some time staring at you when you weren't looking. This is an excellent indication he likes you. Texting sign number 6, he always has time to text you and/or he sends long, thoughtful messages. If he texts you even when you know he's busy, this means that he wants to talk to you and isn't just doing it to kill time. He's genuinely really into talking with you, regardless of what else is happening in his life while you're not around. This is, in fact, a clear indicator that he likes you, especially when he's also sending you long, thoughtful text messages relatively frequently. Why would a guy bother texting something long and detailed to someone he doesn't really care about? Generally speaking, if he's writing thoughtful, well-crafted replies to your texts, then it's clear that he's invested in the conversation. When he replies with one-word answers, this is usually a sign that he's bored or is just being polite. It also means it's time to back off and give him some space before texting him again. Texting sign number 7, he initiates the texting conversations, even when there's nothing to say. If a guy is the one who's always texting you to begin the conversation, especially if he's not really saying anything much at all in his message, that's a great sign he's into you. For example, if you've hung out or talked at length recently, and it's barely been a few hours since you last spoke, but he texts you something like this. So, what's new with you? Smiley face. That means he's thinking about you again already, and he just wants to chat even though he's got nothing to say. If he's always the last one to send a message in a texting conversation, or if he changes the subject and asks more leading questions when the conversation has gone cold, this is one of the strongest indicators that suggest he's interested in you romantically. Texting sign number 8, he's clearly not just looking for something from you. This is closely related to the last point, but it's also very important. Think about when this guy is texting you most often. Is it only ever when he's bored at work, or when he should be studying? If you were to text him out of the blue at a random time of day, would he be just as willing to engage in a meaningful texting conversation as he is normally? Does he often ask for favors or skip past the small talk and go straight to a particular topic most of the time you begin texting back and forth? Is he maybe just looking for a late-night booty call? Think long and hard about when he usually initiates a texting conversation, and what ulterior motives or favors he might be after. If it's clear that he's not just using you, or only texting you at one particular time of day, when he's bored, for instance, then that's a clear sign he's into you. Texting sign number 9, he's sending flirty texts. Sadly, I can't explain in depth exactly how to tell if a text message can be considered flirting or not, but here's a couple of quick examples. Hey. Long time no talk. Did you miss me as much as I missed you? Closing parenthesis quote. Quiz time, what is the most serious relationship you've been in? Out of me and my close guy friends, which one of us do you think is the hottest? The movie I went to tonight was pretty good, but the whole time I wished you were there too. All of these are messages, clear examples of flirting, and receiving a text like this, or, better yet, receiving this kind of message from a guy regularly, means he likes you, and he's subtly trying to hint at that and gauge if you feel the same way about him. All signs indicate he likes you. What now? First of all, if you've seen many of the signs I covered above and you're confident he's into you, start by reading my article on what to text a guy you like for some sneaky example texts to start using on him right away to continue building attraction. Texting is a fantastic way to continue progressing things without the risk of moving too fast, or making a mistake that might turn him off or send him running. Make sure you don't text him any of these 6 toxic texts, though. Finally, it's time to make this guy fall head over heels in love with you. Making him desperate to be with you is actually not as hard as it may seem, but it's also not something I can explain in detail here. Please watch my free video to learn how.